Easy. I will be showing the difference between faith and religious devotion and religious psychosis, which is a mental illness. Because many have tried to compare it and sync it together. The distinction between religious devotion and faith, as well as religious psychosis, will be examined, as these concepts are often misunderstood. There exists a fine separation between the two. To facilitate understanding, a short video interview with a woman being evaluated for religious psychosis by a psychiatrist will be presented, followed by comprehensive exploration of the differences. Please note that this discussion is led by Eric mad scientist and educator, not a neuroscientist, not a psychiatrist or psychologist, with the goal of promoting information, awareness based on insight from these professionals.
What? Jesus. Do you really think so? Yes, this is what I believe. You cannot take away my belief. Have you heard Jesus at any other time? Yes, numerous times. He's talked to you just as I'm talking to you? Just as you're talking to me. When was the last time you heard Jesus speak to you? This morning. This morning? Yes. Uh-huh. Now, do you hear Jesus right now? Yes, he's telling me what to say to you. He tells me how to speak, what to say, how to say it. Puts words in your mouth. He puts shoes on your feet. You can hear his voice? Yes. It's faint, but I can hear it. That's why I whisper a lot of times. That's why I talk softly. Mm-hmm. Because comes to me softly, see. So no one else knows when he comes to me. No one but me. Yeah. Well, why would Jesus single you out? Because I'm a chosen child. He told me this morning. He said, you're a chosen child.
This infographic illustrates a general framework used in mental health to distinguish between shared spiritual or religious beliefs and the individual, often distressing, experiences associated with religious psychosis. Image. As highlighted in the infographic, several key factors help make this distinction: faith and spiritual beliefs. Cultural congruence. These beliefs are typically shared within a community or culture. They align with established traditions and provide a framework for meaning, values, and morality that is recognized by others. Volitional and integrated faith is often a chosen commitment. Religious practices and beliefs generally integrate into a person's life and daily functioning, often promoting social connection and well-being. Impact on functioning. Healthy faith usually supports or enhances daily living, relationships, and emotional stability. It can provide a sense of purpose and a supportive community. Religious psychosis. Idiosyncratic and personal. These experiences are unique to the individual and often differ significantly from the beliefs of their community or religious tradition. They are not culturally shared. Intrusive and distressing. The experiences, like visions or voices, feel external and often cause significant fear, confusion, or distress. The individual may feel compelled to act in unusual ways. Impairment in functioning. These experiences typically interfere significantly with daily life, relationships, and occupational functioning. They may lead to isolation or actions that are harmful to oneself or others. A crucial differentiating factor is that in religious psychosis, the person may lose the ability to distinguish these subjective experiences from objective reality. In contrast, a person with deep faith maintains a strong grasp on reality. Based on their clinical and research expertise, here are two prominent psychiatrists who have spoken and written extensively on the distinction between religious psychosis, ordinary religious belief, and faith. 1. Harold G. Koenig, M.D. Profile. Dr. Harold Koenig is a professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences and associate professor of medicine at Duke University Medical Center. He is the founder and director of Duke's Center for Spirituality, Theology, and Health. Dr. Koenig is perhaps the world's leading researcher on the relationship between religion, spirituality, and health, both mental and physical. His expertise on this distinction, Dr. Koenig approaches the topic primarily from a research and epidemiology perspective, though informed by extensive clinical experience. His work focuses on how healthy faith acts as a protective factor against mental illness, whereas pathological expressions of religion, such as religious delusions, are indicators of underlying disease. He often speaks on the two faces of religion in a clinical setting: healthy religion/faith, defined by strong community support, moral frameworks that promote healthy behaviors, positive coping mechanisms, e.g., prayer, forgiveness, and a sense of meaning and purpose. Koenig's research shows this generally leads to lower rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide, and better recovery from illness. Pathological religion, including religious psychosis. In his seminal text, Handbook of Religion and Health, and his book, Faith and Mental Health, he delineates how mental illness, particularly schizophrenia and bipolar disorder with psychotic features, can manifest with religious content. He stresses that these are not caused by religion, but are psychotic symptoms, delusions, and hallucinations that adopt religious themes, e.g., believing one is a deity, hearing God's voice commanding harm. Koenig has spoken extensively about the clinical necessity of differentiating a patient's culturally normal religious experiences, like speaking in tongues or intense prayer, which are integrated into their life and faith community, from psychotic experiences, which are chaotic, functional impairing, and often bizarre to their own faith peers. 2. Simon Dean, Ph.D., FRC Psych. Profile. Dr. Simon Dean is a consultant psychiatrist specializing in rehabilitation and a research professor in psychology, religion, and health at Durham University. He is also the founding editor of the Mental Health, Religion, and Culture Journal. Dr. Dean holds advanced degrees in both anthropology and medicine, giving him a unique transcultural perspective on psychiatry. His expertise on this distinction, Dr. Dean's work is characterized by an anthropological and transcultural approach to psychiatric diagnosis. He argues that psychiatric symptoms, particularly psychosis, cannot be understood without considering the cultural and religious context of the patient. His writings and speaking engagements focus on the phenomenological similarity but functional difference between spiritual experiences and psychotic symptoms. Shared content. Dean points out that normal religious experiences, visions of saints, hearing divine voices, feeling possessed by a spirit, often share the same content as clinical descriptions of hallucinations and delusions. The difference is context and function. In various publications for the Royal College of Psychiatrists, Dr. Dean has emphasized that the distinction lies not in the form of the experience, but in its context, consequences, and integration. Ordinary faith/spiritual experience. These experiences are typically temporary, happen within a supportive communal or liturgical context, are positively interpreted by the person's culture, and ultimately enhance the person's functioning, meaning, and connection to others. Religious psychosis. Conversely, religious psychosis is characterized by being socially isolating, emotionally distressing, and functionally disruptive. It is marked by rigidity, relative bizarreness compared to cultural norms, and often results in decisions that harm the person or others, e.g., extreme fasting, neglecting medical care. Dr. Dean argues that clinical judgment must rest on how the experience impacts the patient's capacity to live and maintain social bonds.
So we know that religious psychosis is distinctive from religiosity because one affects and is dangerous to everyday life, while the other one is healthy, causes morals and values, and actually helps against mental health. Hope you enjoyed. If you know anybody that needs help with mental health, contact a professional. Peace.